Well, hey everybody, this is our Friday live stream. And today, happy Aloha Friday, happy Aloha Friday. Adrian, who do we have as our guest for today?
So our guest is the CEO and founder of Our Home Investment. He is studied business at Heald College, Bachelor of Science, and also he's originally from Kailua Kona and lives in Honolulu. Our Home Investments was established in 2015 and has become the largest home flipper in Hawaii. It's a real estate solutions company based out of Honolulu, family-owned business, and focuses on helping homeowners to find solutions to their problems, whether they're going through a foreclosure, can't sell a property, or just need to sell their house. So welcome, Indar. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank
And
you.
we didn't mention how many homes that you've actually flipped.
How many homes have you flipped?
What are you up to?
I think we're up to 120 now, 120 houses. And
120 houses. And I totally ripped off this question from other people that do podcasts, but physically, where are we finding you today regarding you being on with us today? Physically, where are you at?
I live in Oahu, I live in Honolulu, but
Yeah.
nationwide, we actually do properties across the U.S.
You do it everywhere, but it's kind of like in today's what you
Digital
call it, when
world.
people are doing these Zooms, you could be in Guangdong, China, for all we know, and because on the inside of that, and I could be in the Philippines, and Adrian could be in Iran. But so, Adrian, first question for Indar, or go ahead.
So, Indar, if you could share with us a little bit on what made you decide to get into this business? Tell us about that, that first split. How did it all
well, that's actually a common question. I get a lot of people ask, how do you start? How do you start flipping? What do you do? Where do you start? The best place to start is actually just go buy a house. Go down to the bank, see what the bank, this is how I started. I had a W-2 job. I was working for my dad's construction company, running his company. And I went down to the bank. I went on my Saturday afternoon. Bank told me I get $240,000 I qualified for. Didn't qualify for much. It was a box I was able to buy. But I bought something. And that's just buying your own first house is the best place to start anything, because you get familiar with the escrow process and all the terms, and it's a new language. Real estate in general, it's a new world sometimes.
New experience.
We can talk freely on it, but the normal homeowner, it's the lingo. It's its own little world. And,
Yep, go buy a home. So that's the first piece of advice here is go buy a home. Adrian and I are going to
go buy a home for yourself.
For yourself.
Whatever
they will give.
Yeah. So Adrian and I are going to take turns. It's going to be like she's going to hold you down and I'm going to hit you with the questions. But we're going to do 1-2 combinations on you. We're going to take turns asking you questions for the next 17 minutes, 16 minutes. So here's the next question. And it's more of a philosophical question to drive home the point of buying that first home. And I heard this on a coaching call with my coach. So here's a question for you, and I know you're going to get the right answer. Or you know what? You're going to give us the best answer.
Best answer.
Where do you have a higher probability? If I have a basketball in my hand and there's the basketball hoop is in front of me, I'm standing at the free throw line. If I were to not take it, so here's your two choices, and you tell me which one has a higher probability of making the shot. The first attempt, choice A, I'm just going to hold the ball in my hand and not even shoot. So keep that in your mind. Okay. That's choice B. I'm going to close my eyes, completely blindfolded. I cannot see, and I'm going to shoot for the hoop. Which one of those has a higher probability of making the shot?
I mean, it's a no-brainer question, of course. And I actually preach the answer all the time is I buy property often that I don't know.
No.
I buy with my eyes closed. I get hold of property, a flip in general, a problem. I buy the problem, and then you can always figure it out later. You can buy a property now. People worry about interest rates right now, right?
Yeah.
We buy it now. We can refinance later. The best thing is to get control, buy it now, figure it out later. It's kind of my
and so here's the analogy that I heard from the coach. Take the shot. How many
Buy the
how
property.
successful would you be as a home flipper if you never bought any homes and you just looked at them all day long?
Yeah.
Take the shot. And
And
that's what 98% of people don't do. They just, you know what, I'm going to rent forever.
Yeah. You'll get the home flipper who will analyze deals. My number's way too low, and I don't want to make that offer. If you don't make that offer, you're not in the field playing ball. You're not on the court playing basketball. So throw
The
the offer out
analysis
there.
paralysis. Don't do that.
Adrian, what's your question?
So you talked about, Indar, you talked about problems. Share with us like the most interesting problem that you've come across in all of your 120 flips that you've done.
Oh, we were talking about lunch the other day of you're going to find everything. You're going to find a problem. It's going to happen from, finances to projects. Early on in my career, I took the hardest flips, the ones that no one wanted to do structurally, just jacking up beams and changing 14 big support beams under this house. No one wanted this house. But by doing those problems and getting past them, it just makes everything else easy. So I tackled some hard problems early on and just made everything else like this cake. You know what I mean? It was like you tackle those problems, everything else gets comfortable. And then you just keep growing in life. That's what problems are. Your comfort levels.
Mm-hmm.
So as you keep taking action.
It's interesting you mentioned that because I have a formula I kind of live my life by and why we've been so successful as real estate agents. And I'll put it up on the screen for you. And Adrian, I hope I spell it right. But you know what? Even if I didn't spell it right, the point being is you don't have to be a good speller to be successful. I hope I spelled it right.
I can't spell at all. I'm a horrible speller. I'm with you.
Let me see. Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm going to delete one to make one. Okay, wait, hold on. Adrian, ask the next question while I'm making this banner.
Okay, so Indar, I know that you're like one of the largest home flippers, but you also hold properties. You have these buy and hold strategies.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the benefit of having all these rentals. Why did you decide on that?
Oh, I kicked myself in the butt. Early on, I was flipping houses and I wanted, want it now. I was wanting money now. And that's what flipping is. You get paid now. You get paid a lot of money right away. But when you keep a rental, you don't get paid right away. It's like, $300-500 a month. And I didn't see the real benefits of owning rentals. We're up to 156 rentals now. We have multifamily, buying a commercial strip mall, and I'll buy anything that cash flows. But the benefit of owning rentals is not just the cash flow. It's the tax, the benefits, it's the appreciation. In Hawaii, anything you own in Hawaii just go up. I mean, it'll go maybe down a little, but in the span of 15, 30 years, you're just going to look smart, buying it.
Yeah, we always look brilliant 30 years forward, right? Looking backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Adrian, my turn with the question, though.
I'm not done. So you said you had 156 rentals. When did you get started on acquiring these rentals?
Building those? It's 4 to 5 years now. It took me to build up that.
Wow.
And we steamrolled, we do more and more.
You mean it didn't happen overnight?
Yeah.
This
right.
is in 4 to 5 years.
Get rich quick.
That's pretty amazing to acquire 156 rentals in the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, we're trying to double that next year. My goal is to get to 1,000 doors. So
wow,
1,000 doors, 84,000 a month in net income in rentals. I really define my goals and I write my goals down every morning.
Yes.
Well,
that's what winners do.
Mm-hmm.
They write their goals down. A goal not written down is merely a dream. So here's my next question for you. Do you need money, personal? Do you need, obviously for your first home, you got to have a good credit and money and down payment. If you're in the military, was it $1,200 funding fee, Adrian? If you're in the military for a VA loan, 13, 15, I don't know.
There is a funding fee unless you're a disabled veteran. Then the funding.
Yeah, but just call it a funding fee.
And
But it's pretty much nothing.
You don't need to have any closing.
It's not
costs
much.
for VA.
It's
Yeah.
not
It's not much compared to if you're non-VA going FHA or even if you're an investor, that can be as high as 30%. Give us an example. I come to you right now. I knock on that door outside your office, and I come through that doorway right behind you, and I come tap you on the shoulder, and I say, Indar, I have terrible credit. I
Yeah.
don't have money in the bank.
Yeah.
What questions would you ask me to help me come to a solution on how can I buy an investment property if that's my situation? Because I'm right now, the drunk monkey is firing off in everybody's brain who's watching this. Oh, I have bad credit. I don't have any money. This is baloney. I cannot buy one investment property. And you know what? They sound exactly like that. So, what would you tell someone like that?
You can again figure it out in any way possible. If you have a great deal that's a flip, you can get a hard money loan. You bring investors. That's how we buy deals. We buy with investors. If you can't get any of that, partner with somebody. Partner with me. I'll split that deal. Again, making something is making better than nothing. So you make something, partner with somebody. You can do a DHA loan, which is a no doc loan where they don't care about your income or your taxes. They just care about having good credit, and it's a good rental property, so you can get a good rental property in that way. But there's a lot of creative structures, and creative financing too is a great option where you get this seller to finance the whole deal. And worst case, just partner. I partnered with my friend, a mentor on my first deal, and it was a huge learning curve, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Again, making half of $100,000 is a lot better than making zeros.
Yeah.
It sounds like I would say it sounds like a win-win mentality, or like culture in with your business and how you do your deals. Yeah. So Indar, what states are you currently in? I know definitely you're here in Hawaii, but what other states do you span across all of
anywhere
these?
where it cash flows? No.
And sometimes not willingly into states. It just happens that deal comes up and you just figure it out. And that's kind of how I started growing into other states is not willingly. It just, somebody's going to do that deal. Somebody's going to figure it out. And I have that mentality. Might as well be me. If I told you I'll give you $100,000 today to figure out this problem, would you do it? And that's what my thinking is. So yeah, we're into 10 other states right now. We own rental properties in Connecticut, where we have Pennsylvania, Texas, New Jersey, New York, Minnesota. I'm missing a bunch. I can't think of it all right now, but
and then you do this all by yourself, right? That's like what's behind you is not even real. It's just a virtual, right? That's
it's my virtual.
This is a virtual office. No, it's real people. You have a team of people that are helping you do all of this. Did you start like that from day one? No,
of course not.
You have to do it all, and these are your people. And every great organization has great people. My question for you is. You shared with us a simple formula, and it had one of the factors in the formula was 1%. You know what formula I'm talking about? You said 1%.
Yep, of course.
Yeah, share that with us because I like simple.
So when I buy a rental property, I make sure it cash flows. And cash flow, it has different definitions. Sometimes people think cash flow, you buy $1 million property and you put $500,000 down. That's a good buy. I don't believe so. I'm more in using less of my money, as little as possible, so I can do more. But the 1% rule, it just states that if you buy $1 million property, you should make $10,000 a month. Or if you buy a $100,000 property, you should make $1,000 a month in rent. And that way that can cover your mortgage, your capital expenditures, vacancies, taxes, insurances, and all those costs, and then have a profit on top of that. Because often people think, they buy a property and I have a mortgage of $2,400 and my renter pays $2,500. That's cash flowing, but there's so much extra costs and I wouldn't advise anyone to think they can get rich quick being a landlord, because even if you just own like 5 to 10, there's some big costs that will come out of nowhere. We just paid $20,000 for a septic on one of our rentals and so forth. So if you're trying to get rentals to live off of, I want to suggest that. I have rentals that I don't need that money. So I let that money build in a war chest. I don't touch that money. And I don't live off of that because stuff happens.
Yeah, that's the gravy. And that's like you said, it's your war chest because or Adrian, is it your turn with a question?
No, you can keep
It's all
going.
go
Okay.
for it.
People say I'm full of lots of things, but it's mostly just questions. Um, yeah, I always throw in dad jokes, so that's just, you're gonna hit my way. Just laugh at them. Just laugh at them. Pretend they're funny. Um, the as far as like people will say, well, I don't want to be over leveraged because if the economy goes off a cliff and stuff like that. You've been doing this. When did you start doing this?
2013.
2013. We are so you were
Right after the crash.
You were right after the
Yeah.
crash.
A few years, yes.
We're going into a softening right now because 13 was the recovery of 07, 08. If you had to pull out and then segue right here. I think you guys should have one giant slipper at your office so that you can say you're Hawaii's largest slipper.
Slipper.
So if anybody disputes it, you say, "Oh, I never say flipper. I said sleeper." But anyway, if you were to pull out, how are you preparing? Because we're going into a softening market, and maybe the market we're going into is something that is going to be good for you. What's your strategy? What's your strategy coming into the new year?
So I'm an investor. I buy deals. So I buy well below market values. Again, I buy now, can refinance later. You can always do things later when you buy right. And this is the best time to buy. I mean, there's blood in the water right now. I'm going in for a kill. There's so much maybe home sitting or underpriced houses or people upside down. There's always deals to be made. There's always people are going to be always selling houses. People always are going to be in foreclosure, whatever it may be. You can always find a good deal, and this is probably the better time even for finding rentals, because you can really get some good value add rentals. And if you're worried about interest rates, get that out of your head. Just refinance later. That's get that.
Well, we have a saying: date the interest rate, marry the real estate.
Yeah, exactly.
Marry the home.
Okay, you can steal that one. First time you mention it, I'll get 25-cent royalty, and then all uses thereafter are completely free.
Right.
No copyright violation. But date the interest rate, but marry the real estate, because the long-term relationship is in holding the property. And don't worry about it, because if it cash flows at 6 or 7%, it's going to even cash flow better, right? At 3-4% when you refi. Go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah.
So speaking on the cash flow aspect, I know that that 1% rule is could be pretty challenging to do that here in Hawaii, especially with the high maintenance fees.
I'll cut you off.
Okay,
Mindset is where you start. I used to believe the same thing that I could not find in Hawaii, and I was right.
Mm-hmm.
I could not find when I was thinking that. But when I changed my mindset, that there is, it exists. It just comes out. The abundance, the law of attraction. There is enough. There is, and we got 25 rentals here in Hawaii that all follow that 1% rule.
So 25 rentals that picked up in the last 4 to 5 years that fit that 1% rule. So they do exist here in Hawaii.
I would help Adrian out. It could be hard to find, but it's not impossible. You know what's impossible? Me levitating off the floor right now. That's impossible.
I believe in you. I think you would figure it out.
I'm doing some coaching with Chris Angel. I'll get right back to you. Adrian, you have another question? Because I got one. And then we're probably coming to the last time.
Well, I would say that I know that you talked about, you're like the easy button. And I want to just reach out to maybe those homeowners that are wanting that easy button. How does that look like, Indar, if you were to execute on the easy button for someone who needs the help with a quick closing? And obviously they're not going to get market value, but what does that look like?
Oh, when we buy a house from homeowners or work with agents on the market, we waive all our closing costs. We don't do any inspections. No termites, no nothing, because I'm going to come in and rehab the house. And we buy them as is. We often buy a house full of junk, like the hoarding houses, whatever it may be, or abandoned homes. We just buy them as is, cash. We close in 20, 25 days. Just make it super easy for us. No surveys, no nothing. That makes the homeowner a very simple
Easy.
process,
Yeah.
and we can negotiate. We took over mortgages. We've gotten people back up on mortgages that are about to be foreclosed on. So there's a lot
What if
of
they owe one mean auntie some money? You going?
Take care of the mean auntie.
Yeah,
care of
I
mean
mean,
auntie.
everything's can be worked out, of course, and that's the beauty of real estate, that there's so many different options to work with sellers and creative financing structures, and it's actually better for you not to pay off all your debt. Like, say you're getting foreclosed on and you owe $500,000. It's actually better for your debt score, for your credit score, to make payments and catch you up if you're actually worried about your credit. So we do things like that instead. Just be creative and be helpful.
That's a win-win. You're getting an investment property. You're helping them rebuild their credit. That's exactly my first property in 2008.
Yeah.
I was tracking foreclosures, and I'll wrap it up with this. And the guy was behind on his maintenance fees and mortgage. I said, "You're going to lose the house in 30 days. Here's what I'll do for you." And I was only willing to do it for him at that time because I was super conservative, because he was a realtor, right? Two big boys with their big boy underpants coming together. Nobody's like on top of it. Nobody knows anything more than the other person because we're both licensed realtors. And I said, "I'll tell you what, I will get you caught up. I will take over the payments. I'll take over the management of the tenant. And then I'm going to give you $5,000 at the closing of escrow." And fast forward to today, I owe $60,000 on that property, and I think it's worth $280,000.
And you helped him with his credit score too.
And I helped him with his credit score, and I did refinance it, and I got him off of that loan because his older child needed to go to college, and they needed to qualify for a student loan. So I refinanced. I rebuilt his credit, and then I got that debt off of his credit because I refinanced and took it over, and I still own that property today. So, and you know what? Everybody listening to this, you know why you're so lucky? Because I had to go to figureitout.com, and there's no such thing. And you guys get Indar. You guys get Indar.
I've had a lot of lessons.
I made that stuff up on the fly. So.
That's it. Success is not as easy as people make it seem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of learning lessons, a lot of failures that came with it, and it's the only way to get there is through failing.
All right.
Fail forward.
Indar, Hawaii. Let's leave that one up there. Indar, Hawaii, because people's like, what is that? Indar, Hawaii.
So Indar is going to be on our radio show this weekend. So please tune in. We're going to be talking story about, just more information just like this.
Yeah.
So
we're going to be doing some stuff with Indar. If you're a homeowner out there, give us a call. If you call him, tell him you heard about us on our Friday Live. All 5 of you people tuning in. And let's work together. We only like to be in business with people that we trust and know. And so don't take our word for it that we could be a company or have a reputation that's trustworthy. Take a look at our Google reviews. How many do we have, Adrian?
420 something reviews.
And it's all 1 star. No, it's not 1 star.
No. Most of them are 5-star. There's a couple of kooky ones, but
that's okay. A couple of angry people, that's okay. The world is filled with angry people here and there. But 4.9, I think, is our average on 400 reviews. So don't take our word for it. Listen to or read what our clients have to say. And that's it, Adrian. Anything else?
And I want to plug you guys. I get most of my deals from agents. So any homeowner, I buy 70% of my flips actually from MLS, from agents. So
awesome sauce.
That's who I work with.
Deals are everywhere.
Yeah. So if you're homesteading, give us a call. Adrian, anything
in any
else?
State.
In any state.
In any state, not just Hawaii.
Anywhere.
Yep.
Anyway. Yeah, he's even looking at some property on the moon. Not on the moon.
Mars.
All right, Indar, hang out with us, and Sheen, take us out with that video. right, Sheen.